Yeah, but the thing is, some will wonder that if you are seeking a review of the Polytechnic Act, something, look, this is rather unfair, demanding this in your, as part of the reasons why you're going on strike, because they think this may not necessarily be the way to go. If it's a purely legislative matter, you should lobby, use those tools to get the act done, because after all, others do it and they get results. They don't strike.
No, we are not, you are right, you know, in a sense. But look at, we are saying this is part of, like when I said there were 4 issues that both parties identified as could be realized within a short period without complications. Okay, tell me what is difficult in releasing the governing councils of 6 polytechnics. When after you had promised us you were going to release it, the next week after we met with you, you released about 50, 52 other governing councils. And you didn't release this. And you know this is critical to the discussion we're having with you. Okay, now what is the difficulty in releasing white paper on visitation? So that the
So 52, they have released 52 in a week. Or they released 52 in a week after the discussions, and it's just 6 left.
No. We have 21 polytechnics. Initially they released 15. 6 were left. What I'm saying is that within the time we discussed with them, and the time they promised they were going to release the remaining 6, they had released 52 councils of other parastatals agencies and departments. Do you understand? Now, why couldn't you include the 6 polytechnics? You know, in the 52 you are releasing. It's not as if anything. What is so difficult? Sincerely, we don't understand.
What is the bearing of a governing council to, you know, what role do they play? What is the importance on you know, lecturing in Polytechnic, for instance?
Why we actually began to ask for governing councils in the first place, you know, to be constituted. Because one, it is statutory. And if it is statutory, we expect that it be done. Now, these governing councils were when their tenures were up, for 2 years, they were not constituted. And you know that the governing councils play a controlling role. Actually, they are the topmost policy-making organ in a polytechnic. You know, because if you don't have the governing councils, there is the tendency for rectors to be, you know, tyrannical. There could be anarchy in the system. So it's a core organ in checks and balances within the system. That is one. And then when we were asking for the renegotiation of the agreement, the Minister of Education now predicated that on the absence of governing councils, you know, the delay of the government. So we said, okay, if this is what is, because governing councils will play a key role in any agreement we're going to have with the government, because they are the ones who are going to implement it actually in the policy level in the polytechnics. And that was why we began to ask for this.
Well, you know, sorry, Slay, just a moment. You know that, you know, there's been some rejigging, as it were, in the President's cabinet, and the Minister for Information, the then Minister of Education, is now out. We have a new Minister of Education. Yeah. Are you not going to give that new minister time to at least settle in? And you know that the university lecturers are also on strike, and that this is definitely going to be compounded issues. Don't you think so?
I think offices in Nigeria should not be built around personalities. It is the office that is the issue. Even the minister
has run by people.
Yeah, it's run by people, and the actual people who run government are not really the ministers. You know, the administration of the government. There are civil servants. There are layers of you know, civil servants who do this job. And we have been working with
the presence of the ministers. Who takes the ultimate decision?
No, the minister. And as at the time the minister was removed, she had, in fact, let me just tell you the truth. The matter of appointment of governing councils does not rest in the office of the Minister of Education. We know it. We know there is a body that does it. It's more or less, you know, a process of political appointment.
You know, you also accused the federal government of abuse of the TED fund laws.
Yes.
How so?
No, there's a law establishing TED fund, and the TED fund, you know, the money in the TED fund is meant for specific things. But now what we are seeing is that, you know, because ASUP, I don't want to, you know, bring this down to a university polytechnic thing, but if you look at even the money that even ASUP had protested about how TED fund is being abused now, because the law is, you know, the money, the fund there is being applied, you know, outside the ambit of statutes, and that is why we are worried, because even up till now, this is October, there has been no allocation from TED fund to polytechnics, to universities, to colleges of education for training of staff.
All right, let me bring in this before we wrap up. Part of your demands, correct us if it's wrong, because it's what was sent also, says which is the second one,
Okay, go on.
that the National Assembly should rescind from its current anti-labor posture in the interest of industrial peace and the desperate move to rescue the endangered soul of the tertiary institutions in the country. Isn't this part of the reason why some who say, look, the president said it's political? Because if you say the National Assembly should rescind that decision, Labour had already protested to the Senate and they said they would do something about it. And then you come up with this as part of the reasons for embarking on strike.
No, are we not part of Labour? Do you understand what I'm saying? No, we are making a statement, really. I don't know. Maybe you got that from our communique.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not part, it's not.
This has been expunged.
No, it's not, no, that's our communique. It's not in the portfolio of our demands for the strike.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our communique of the meeting that we held the 75th NEC in Bida, yeah.
So, all right, if they call you for a meeting now to sheath your swords, will that work?
No, we're always open. You know, ASUP is always open to constructive engagement. That's what we have done all this while. And what I'm trying to say is that, look at the issues we have raised. There is none that is complicated, so complicated that government cannot, right now, where we are talking, just do them.
All right, Chibuzo Asamoah is the President, Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.